Reports from Germany within the past hour say locally grown bean sprouts have now been identified as the likely cause of the E. coli outbreak. At least 22 people have died and hundreds more have been infected by the bug. The authorities in the state of Lower Saxony say consumers will be urged to avoid bean sprouts, which are often used in mixed salads. The government's reaffirmed its commitment to introduce new safeguards to protect vulnerable adults from abuse in residential care homes in England. 4 people were arrested last week following a BBC Panorama programme which showed staff at Winterbourne View, a privately run hospital near Bristol, mistreating adults with learning disabilities. Under the plans, council would be required to set up adult safeguarding boards. Demonstrations have been taking place in Yemen as people celebrate the departure of their president for Saudi Arabia. President Saleh left the country to undergo surgery after being hit by shrapnel during an attack on his palace on Friday. Amid reports of more fighting, France says a rescue of foreign nationals in Yemen may be necessary. Dan Damon reports from Djibouti in East Africa.
Navies from several nations based here, including Britain, France and most recently Japan, are trying to contain Somali pirates, but the number of attacks is increasing. If Yemen continues to fall apart, military commanders are concerned the pirates will start operating from that side of the Gulf of Aden too. France has a rugged coastal exercise area in Djibouti where its own and other nations' special forces are trained, including Americans, available if the evacuation of foreign nationals were to become an urgent rescue.
Unconfirmed reports from Syria say 11 people have been shot dead by Israeli troops during a confrontation in the Golan Heights. The dead were among dozens of protesters who tried to walk from Syria into territory occupied by Israel to mark the anniversary of the Six-Day War in 1967. The Israelis said warning shots had first been fired to try to disperse the crowd. A head-on crash involving 2 cars in the West Midlands has killed 4 people, including 2 grown-up sisters. 4 others were hurt in the accident in West Bromwich. More than 3,000 people have been moved from their homes in southern Chile because of a series of volcanic eruptions. Clouds of ash are being showered over a wide area near the border with Argentina. From Santiago, here's Gideon Long.
One day after it started to erupt, the Puyehue Cordon Cauye volcano chain continues to send smoke and ash billowing over 10 kilometres into the air. Locals have reported a strong smell of sulphur, and in Bariloche, one official said ash was falling like snow. The airport there is closed, and an important road crossing between the two countries has also been shut.
Now on to the weather forecast. Rain in Scotland and parts of eastern and southeastern England could be heavy in places. Elsewhere, rain dying out, leaving some clear periods overnight in the west. Winds will be generally light. BBC News at 3 minutes past 5. Our next at 6.
BBC Radio 2.
Now to the roads on Radio 2. Here's Bobby.
Andrew, thank you. Well, it's not an easy day, especially with the weather conditions and so much traffic on the roads. Particular problems, A19 northbound, north of Stockton. We've still got one lane closed following an accident between the A689 Dalton Lodge towards Peterlee. M6 southbound, you're still going to find heavy traffic south of Junction 20 for the Lim interchange through 19 at Knutsford, all the way down to Sandbach Junction 17. It's a pretty slow, busy crawl down the M6. The A5 east of Telford at Crackley Bank, that's still closed both ways following the earlier accident today between Grange Lane and the B4379. To the A14 at the Suffolk end, eastbound, we've got one lane closed between junctions 39 Kentford and 40 for Coalpit Lane and Higham. That's causing some long queues on the approach. To Norfolk, the A47, the new road along the Acle Strait eastbound. Now that has been partially blocked. There's an accident just at the turn for Halvergate. You can only just squeeze past. And the latest on the 2M25 problems. First of all, clockwise, 3 lanes remain closed between junctions 8 Reigate and 9 Leatherhead. It's queuing back to junction 5 for Clackett Lane services. Anti-clockwise past the scene is slow as well. The M25 anti-clockwise accident between junctions 2 and 1 towards the Dartford tolls. That's all been cleared. Still very heavy through there though. And finally, the A303. If you're eastbound, we've got solid traffic really from Ilminster all the way through Stonehenge. So if you're heading through there, it's just again a slow crawl, the holiday traffic. And I'll be back for you now just after 6.
Online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM. On BBC Radio 2.
Christopher Cross there, who will never be the same. And Malcolm tells me Christopher Cross sang the song from Alfie. Is it Alfie? Albus. Arthur. I'm still none the wiser. Anyway, there you go. Good afternoon, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in. You haven't got much choice, really, have you? What is that? Sport, antiques, something in your loft that's worth millions. Cookery, the usual stuff, and me. Anyway, I'm with you until 7 o'clock. That's another 2 hours off my community service, only 365 to go. And I've got the usual, or should I say, the unusual mix of music and messages. We've got your thank yous. I've got a special thank you today as well, a personal one. And we've got your triples, plus we've got cocktails and smelly pianists. What more do you want on a Sunday afternoon between the hours of 5 and 7? But first, he's a newly married man. It's Mr. Michael Bublé.
All you have to do is touch my hand to show me you understand. Unless something happens to me that's some kind of wonderful. Now anytime my little world seems blue, I just have to look at you, and everything seems to be some kind of wonderful. Now I know I can't express this feeling of tenderness. There's so much I wanna say, but the right words don't come my way. I only know when I'm in your embrace, and this world seems a better place, and something happens to me, and it's some kind of wonderful. And it's wonderful, baby. It's so wonderful. Oh, so divine. Yeah. I know I can't express this feeling of tenderness, and there's so much I wanna say, but the right words don't come my way. I only know when I'm in your embrace, and this world seems a better place, unless something happens to me. You know, it's some kind of wonderful, and it's wonderful, baby. Whoa, whoa, it's so divine. Oh, baby, and it's wonderful, baby, 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 baby. I understand, and it's some kind of wonderful, and it's wonderful, baby, 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 please. You know you're some kind of wonderful. Oh, baby, so much I wanna say.
Some kind of wonderful. That was Mr. Michael Bublé. As I said, he recently got married and he celebrated it with not one, not two, but 3 wedding ceremonies, and I never got an invite to any of them. So, Mr. Bublé, if you're listening, you're not getting your electric blanket. I'm going to keep it myself. Now, as you know, we're nothing without you and your messages, and here's the lovely Maria. Stand on the line, Maria, and speak clearly with my contact details. Go on.
You can contact Paul's show by emailing Paul O'Grady at bbc.co.uk, or you can write to Paul at BBC Radio 2, London W1A 1AA, or just visit his show page at bbc.co.uk/radio 2 and click on Take Part in the Show.
Thank you, Maria. Go and have a little lie down now until I call you again. Thank you very much for that. And as you know, we do our very best to include as many of your messages as we can. Now, what have I got here? Dear Paul, please could you say hi to my fab partner, John, who is cooking me. Hang on a minute, will I turn? Oh, who is cooking me what I'm sure will be a lovely curry. You don't want to know what meat it is. Oh, no, it's not LAMB, is it? Winston, get down. I don't know how you could. Anyway, you may have to shout John's name a few times as the Extractor fan is on. Oh, please. John, can you hear me? John, we are regular listeners to Radio 2 on a Sunday, and your show is a definite highlight, and that's from Helen in Edinburgh. Thanks for that, Helen. Well, I hope you enjoy your you-know-what curry. Mind you, I don't know what sort of meat it is, especially when it starts. My fab partner, Johnny, was cooking me. What's going on in Edinburgh these days is this when the festival's not on? Dear Paul, last week you mentioned a lady on your show who'd had a bad day. Yes, I remember. That was my listener, Rachel Townsend, and she lives in Lutterworth. Well, I've had a bad week. Listen, this isn't a competition to see who's got the worst week. So far, I've managed to vacuum up one of my husband's cucumber plants, which he leaves on the conservatory windowsill. But I blame that one on the dog. I also managed to vacuum up a pair of knickers and a ball of string. You see, I have a vacuum cleaner which is designed for pet fur. But why is it that it struggles with fur but sucks up everything else in sight? Love the show, Paul. It's very entertaining and very funny. It's not supposed to be. And that's from Julie Lavender. I don't bother to hoover. Well, you can imagine with all my animals what my place looks like. Looks like an Afghan coat. I don't think I've got a hoover's been made that could tackle it. So just leave it. It's quite nice anyway in the winter. You're a bit hairy when you wake up, but... Hey up, Mr O'Grady. Could you please give Joan Howe a mention? She's 85 and a massive fan of yours. Joan lives in a wooden house that she imported from Norway back in the late 50s, long before grand design self-builds were all the rage. So if you're passing this way, the kettle is on for you. She's just up the road from the new Barbara Hepworth Gallery in Wakefield. And that's from Stephen Goodair in Horbury. Thanks for that, Stephen. Joan, I hope you're not playing with matches in that little wooden house of yours. Yeah, you got electricity and stuff, love. How clever, a lovely Norwegian. Would you fancy that, Malcolm? A little trip up to Wakefield, and we can pop in the Barbara Hepworth Gallery, have a scone, a cup of tea. All right, then. What we got? Oh, we've got the return of the slot that we now call, and they've obviously had they've had a workshop to decide this title. They probably went away somewhere for the weekend. It's the slot we now call Jules. Jules. Did you get it? Jules as in Holland and Jules as in the cloud. Oh, I'm wasting my time here. Anyway, it's called Rock Me, and here's Jules with the Blind Boys of Alabama. Take it away, fellas.
Now
Jules Holland and the Blind Boys of Alabama with Rock Me. And that album, Best of Friends, was released in 2007, and it also features a DVD featuring Jules in action. That's if you're interested. And if you do get it, let me know what you thought of it. I think it's fab. Speaking of seeing people, a very nice handy link there, Malcolm. You've been very busy on this today, haven't you? KD Lang, you all know KD Lang. She's been touring the UK recently, so we're going to play a track now from a 1988 album, which is called Shadowland. And here's the lady herself with Sugar Moon.
That old sugar moon, all the loving I miss, I'll be getting it soon. I'll be getting it from my sugar, beneath that old sugar moon. I can see it's right now. Get the calendar down and draw a circle around the day we're having back. When it's sugar cane time and around about June, all the birds will be singing beneath that old sugar moon. I can see us right now. Get the calendar down, draw a circle around the day we're having bound. When it's sugar cane time and around about June, I'll be walking with my sugar neath that old sugar moon.
KD Lang there, Sugar Moon. I had to resist the urge to get up and hula to that, do a hula dance. Because you know I was Birkenhead's champion hula, both with hoop and grass skirt, 1968 to 73. And I was beaten by somebody from Wigan, whose name I won't mention because I'm not going to plug them. But it's a slight I've never, ever forgotten, really. But that was fab. That's not from a recent album. That's from a 1988 album, which is called Shadowland. And a new album is called Sing It Loud. And that sounds like Salvation Army hymn, doesn't it? Sing it loud, brothers and sisters. And that's out now. Time now for some more of your messages. Who've I got here? Dear Paul, please say a huge hello to my husband Marek, who I've just left decorating our new house in Stockton Heath. We had a baby girl, Ruby, 6 weeks ago, so it's hard for me to help with the decorating. I should think so as well, woman. You've just given birth. Climbing up a ladder with a bucket of paste and 2 rolls of wallpaper. You know, none of that nonsense. Go to your parents. Oh, we are staying with my mum and dad on the Wirral. I should be telling fortunes, mate, Mal. I'm really on the Wirral until the house is ready. And both Marek and my parents have been amazing with getting the house ready for us to move into. So please thank them all and tell them I love them. And that's from Claire. And congratulations, Claire, to you and Marek with your baby and your new front room and everything else. Is he decorating the nursery? Oh, mobiles hanging off the ceiling. Not a good idea when you go in the night and you bend over the cot and you get caught in your rollers. Not a good idea. Dear Paul, can you please give me some information regarding Mrs. Balaclava? Oh, this is off the FBI. I would like to send some of her recordings to my daughter in Australia. Why? What's that poor girl ever done to you? Eh? Something rotten, obviously. I mean, for her to run off to Australia. And not only that, you know, you're going to send her recordings of Mrs. Balaclava. Anyway, the daughter in Australia apparently would really appreciate her style of piano playing. Oh, Cockney then. That's because I went to see Pygmalion, which is fabulous. I'm digressing, Malcolm, sorry. And that's from Linda Chandler. And Linda loves the show and listens avidly every Sunday. Well, Linda, my love, now, and your daughter in Australia, after 6 o'clock, I will have an update for you on Mrs. Balaclava's new album. We'll see if the injunction's been lifted yet. Has it, Malcolm? Has it? No, we don't know. We've got the lawyer comes down after 6 and discusses it. Oh, it's all too complicated. Why did I get involved with that woman? And why? Oh, dead pest. Send it in, talking a bit. Oof. Look, it's a warm day, love. I think you should take that Parker off. I don't know what kind of fare that is round the hood, but it's certainly no animal. It's not even acrylic. She's not even looking at me. She's staring at the keys, playing away. Dear Paul, could you please mention Max, who passed away last week? I had him for 10 years after finding him as a little kitten in a supermarket bag. He was only a few weeks old, and I fed him by hand. He had a collapsed lung and unfortunately didn't respond to treatment. My other cat, Molly, keeps looking for him, and I miss Max so much. And that's from Irene Dale. Oh, that's cheered us up. All right, go, leave the piano now and leave. Can't you see? We're all upset. Oh, that's rotten. Oh, poor old Max. Well, he's gone to a better place. Anyway, Irene, Molly'll get over it when you get a new kitten. No, go to the cat's home and get a nice little kitten. Go on, Molly, treat yourself. I mean, Irene, sorry, Molly's the cat. Well, Molly might be listening, you never know. Man, I know a woman whose cat sits on top of the wireless, honestly. Not when I'm on, particularly. She's up there for Ken Bruce. She's hanging on by her claws. It's very old. It's an old cathedral wireless. You know, a proper old one's a crystal set. OK, then. Now, all you Johnny Mathis fans, I've got good news for you. Malcolm, for one, was sent in a beautiful T-shirt by Nina, who sends me things in, with a picture of Johnny on the front and Malcolm's name written on the back. Probably so when Malcolm goes to see Johnny at the concert and he gets lost, people will know who he is. The only trouble is it's an XXX. XXXXXXL, but we're lending it out for weddings. If anybody's having a wedding and you're looking for a marquee tent with a picture of Johnny Mathis on the flap, then I'm your man, OK? Anyway, the lovely Johnny is returning to the UK to perform for the first time in 5 years, and he's going to be presenting his 55th anniversary concert tour this October. So for all you Johnny Math fans, particularly for Penelope Howard in Bootle, is You Light Up My Life.
So many nights I'd sit by my window, waiting for someone to sing me a song. So many dreams I keep deep inside me, alone in the dark, but now you've come along and you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up my days and fill my nights with song. Rolling at sea, adrift on the waters, could it be finally I'm turning for home? Finally a chance to say, hey, I love you. Never again to be all alone. And you light up my life. You give me hope to carry on. You light up You light up my life.
Johnny Mathis, You Light Up My Life. And that was a huge hit for Debbie Boone, who was Pat Boone's, I was trying to think then, Pat Boone's daughter, if you remember. And that version was featured on Johnny's album, The Best of Johnny Mathis, 1975 to 1980. And he's coming to the UK in October. So get yourselves ready. Now, I'd like to do a personal thank you, and it's for the all the staff of South Eastern Railway. Not the entire route, you understand. I did do quite a lot of it, because I got on the wrong train for Ashford to King's Cross and fell asleep. And I woke up, and as I opened my eyes, I could just see a sign saying Gravesend. Now, I didn't know whether I got on the wrong train or it was a prophetic warning. However, I was out my seat and on the platform, and I went from there to a place called Strood. Is it Strood? And by this stage, it was lashing down with rain. I had a paper carrier bag, and the bottom fell out of it, scattering the contents. Nothing embarrassing, a pair of pumps and a pair of jeans all over the station platform. And these two young girls came up to me, and I went, which loosely translated means, no, I'm not standing here in the rain posing for a photo. And they looked at me the way kindly psychiatric nurses look at somebody who's just put the dinner on their head and said, we just wondered if you're all right. I was in Malcolm, I was in a lather. Anyway, they put me on the right platform, and I ended up in Ebbsfleet. But before I got to Ebbsfleet, the guard on the train had phoned through to say I was arriving. And I was met at the station by a very kindly lady, because Ebbsfleet International is quite a big station. It's easy to get lost. I'd already done the heritage tour. And she was lovely. All I waited for her to do was cup her hand under my elbow and say, come on, dear, this way. Because you could see I was confused. Anyway, I got to Ashford eventually, but very late. But the staff were wonderful, and thank you very, very much. There you go. Right, let's have some more messages. Oh, and those two girls as well, it's true. I'm sorry for roaring at you, but I was distraught. I was like a coiled spring. Dear Paul, I can top the vacuum cleaner story from last week. What vacuum cleaner story from last week? Oh, it was Andrea in Argyle, whose son played with a vacuum cleaner and left a big circle suck mark on his chin. Don't ask. Anyway, for some reason, my sister and I discovered that we could suck mugs against our chins. The harder you suck the mug against your chin, the harder it is to get off. Is this involving a vacuum cleaner? So you put the vacuum cleaner in your mouth, put the mug on your cheek and turn it on. Well, how'd you suck a mug to you? No, I don't know these people. Anyway. Oh, I see. You put the mug over your mouth and you don't use a vacuum cleaner, Malcolm. Why am I talking about this on the radio, giving people ideas? You remember doing it years ago? You put a mug over your mouth and you go at the stick in your face. I'll have a go in a minute in the record and tell you how I got on. Anyway, the harder you suck the mug against your chin, the harder it is to get off. My sister, wanting to be better than me, sucked as hard as she possibly could and ended up with the same aforementioned vacuum-shaped circle on her chin. She tried her hardest to cover it with makeup the next morning, but everybody noticed. She is 42. Did you hear that? 42. She'll never see 30 again. 42. And she works in a school. Oh, this explains to children of today, does it? Hope she's in the canteen, not teaching children how to suck mugs to their faces. Anyway, she works in a school, so you can imagine how embarrassed she was having to admit what she'd done, and that's from Kate. Oh, dear. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one, Kate, who stands there in the kitchen of a morning, waiting for the kettle to boil, sucking a mug to me face. I haven't got the breath I used to have, though, and it occasionally falls off. Dear Paul, never mind smells. Oh, to bring back memories, Marie Osmond's Paper Roses brought it all flooding back to me last Sunday. I sang that song in a talent show at Ladbrokes Holiday Park in St Ives in 1977, and I won the competition that week. And my prize was a week's holiday for the family in Great Yarmouth for the next heat of the competition. Ooh, how did you get on, campers? Happy days. They were the best holidays I ever had. And that's from Christina in Warwickshire. Thanks for that, Christina. Oh. You got Heidi Heidi Hi for the Sally theme. That would suit today, wouldn't it? Oh no, it's gone 5. You wouldn't know in here. Pitch black. I'm back in my own studio from the creepy one last week. You know, I kept saying somebody was touching me. I felt like it was. Anyway, it's gone 5, so that means it's time for today's 5 o'clock triple. And this week it's been requested by Marcus Winston from Nuneaton. So just for you, Marcus, today's 5 o'clock All-Star Triple features Cher. Take it away.
If I could turn back time, if I could find a way, I'd take back those words that hurt you, and you'd stay. I don't know why I did the things I did. I don't know why I said the things I said. Pride's like a knife, it can cut deep inside. Words are like weapons, they wound sometimes. I didn't really mean to hurt you. I didn't want to see you go. I know I made you cry, but baby, if I could turn back time, if I could find a way, I'd take back those words that hurt you. You'd stay if I could reach the stars. I'd give them all to you. Then you love me like you used to do. If I could turn back time, my world was shattered, I was torn apart. Like someone took a knife and drove it deep in my heart. You walked out that door, I swore that I didn't care. But I lost everything, darling, then and there. Too strong to tell you I was sorry. Too proud to tell you I was wrong. I know that I was blind. And darling, if I could turn back time, if I could find a way, I'd take back those words that hurt you, and you'd stay. If I could reach the stars, I'd give them all to you. Then you love me like you used to do. If I could turn back time, if I could turn back time, if I could turn back time, oh, baby. I didn't really mean to hurt you. I didn't want to see you go. I know I made you cry. But oh, if I could turn back time, if I could find a way, I'd take back those words that hurt you. If I could reach the stars, I'd give them all to you. Then you love me like you used to do. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way. The fortune queen of New Orleans is brushing her cat in her black limousine. On the back seat were scratches from the marks of man, her fortune she had won. Couldn't see through the tinted glass. She said, "Home, James," and he hit the gas. Followed her to some darkened room. She took my money, she said, "I'll be with you soon." Dark lady laughed and danced and lit the candles one by one. Danced to her gypsy music till the blue was dawn. Dark lady played black magic till the clock struck on the 12. She told me more about me than I knew myself. She dealt two cards, a queen and a three, and mumbled some words that were so strange to me. never come back and forget you ever saw my face. Dark lady laughed and danced and lit the candles one by one. Danced to her gypsy music till her blue was gone. Dark lady played black magic till the clock struck on the 12. She told me more about me than I knew myself. So I ran home and crawled in my bed. I couldn't sleep because of all the things she said. Then I remembered her strange perfume, how I smelled it once in my own room. So I sneaked back and caught her with my man, laughing and kissing till they saw the gun in my hand. The next thing I knew, they were dead on the floor. Dark lady would never turn a corner anymore. Dark lady laughed and danced and lit the candles one by one. Danced to her gypsy music till her brew was done. Dark lady.
I don't need your sympathy. There's nothing you can say or do for me, and I don't want a miracle. You'll never change for no one, and I hear your reasons why. But where did you sleep last night? And was she worth it? Was she worth it? I'm strong enough to live without you, strong enough, and I quit crying long enough. Now I'm strong enough to know you gotta go. There's no more to say, so save your breath and walk away. No matter what I hear you say, I'm strong enough to know you gotta go. So you feel misunderstood? Well, baby, have I got news for you on being used? I could write the book, but you don't wanna hear about it. 'Cause I've been losing sleep, and you've been going cheap. And she ain't what half of me is true. Now I'm telling you that I'm strong enough to live without you, strong enough, and I
And that was the 5 o'clock All-Star Triple, as recommended or suggested or even threatened by Marcus Winston. We had If I Could Turn Back Time, Dark Lady and Strong Enough, all sung by the inimitable Cher. And don't forget we got the 6 o'clock Triple after 6 o'clock. Well, it doesn't make sense, doesn't it, really? And I'm Paul O'Grady, Gibbering here on Radio 2, and I'm going to read a few more of your messages. Dear Paul, I've never emailed anyone on the radio before. Ooh, you're getting daring. But last week, as I was listening to your show as usual whilst cooking Sunday dinner, you were talking about tweed perfume. I have to say other fragrances were available if we'd had compliance in the 1970s, but we didn't in those happy, happy days. It brought back memories of my mum. She died many years ago when I was 16, and the only perfume she ever had on her dressing table was tweed. I have my own children now, but it is at times like this when I think of her. Little things that trigger memories. Silly, really. Not at all, and that's from Carol Guy in Lincolnshire. My mother was the same. She had a bottle of tweed. It was only ever used for special occasions. I think it went off after like the 10th year. There's certainly a sediment at the bottom. But if you're interested, I've said this before, there's a well-known auction site on the interweb where you can find these things. Honestly, you can get them. Oh, a couple of quickies here. Hello to Sash Bull, her dad Reg, Mum Maureen and husband AT. How did your game of cards go? Or is it husband at? I don't know. Ron, I think you should have been using a higher factor than the one you have been, judging by that photo. Beetroots aren't your shade of red. If there's any consolation, that's the colour I go. I've got vest marks from when I went to Israel I haven't never got rid of. You know, when you wear a vest and you walk around in the sun, it wasn't a vest, it was a fashionable one. But something about, you know, some old string thing with a holy metal pinned on the front. No, it's a fashionable vest, but I left it on all day and I've still got they look like bra straps. They're not, I can assure you. Hello to Viv Brown. What's Max having for his tea tonight? Happy 34th birthday to Louis. Keep on dancing, Louis. Bobby loves you. Hello and thanks to Stevie Fox, who sent me a great photo of a field with a laminate. Winston's fine. Thank you very much for asking. George, what you really need, if you want my advice, is a coat with zip-up pockets. Can't even say it yet, give her the advice. Then you won't keep losing things. And finally, for now, a word of advice to Lena, who wrote in worrying about the fact she worries. Don't worry, Lena. It's not worth worrying about. I don't believe in it myself. No point, is there? You die if you worry, you die if you don't. What's the point? What's this? Have we got a lost film catch-up now? Now, 2 weeks ago, Chris from Chelmsford wanted your help in finding a film which starred Van Johnson. It was about a Texan cattleman who was worried that his daughter-in-law can't afford to buy steaks. As cattlemen do in the Wild West. You know, they wake up in the morning, it's the first thing they think of. Can my daughter have a nice bit of Silverside tonight or not? Well, I now know it was called Confidentially Connie, and it was released in 1953, and it starred Van Johnson, Janet Leigh and Jean Lockhart. So a big thank you to Jimmy Lee, Carol Stewart, Kath Webster, Phil Connor, Colin Bowes, Rebecca Banks, John Phillips, and just about everybody else in the country who emailed in. Aren't you clever? I'd never have got that, would you, Malcolm? But keep them coming and we'll find them for you. Right, cocktail hour now. Slightly earlier than usual. The sun hasn't gone down over the hard arm, as they say. Still, are we bothered? Right, today we're having something called a frozen tamarind margarita. And apparently it's very easy to make. You just add 4 ounces of tequila, 3 ounces of tamarind concentrate. Best of luck finding tamarind concentrate. I love it when these cookery experts, they're saying, go and get the whiff hair of a fennel. We're going to find one of them in Aldi. Don't forget, other supermarkets are available. Anyway, you get your tamarind concentrate and then you 4 teaspoons of sugar. You sling it all into a blender. You put a bit of ice in and then you blend it until smooth. And then you rim a chilled margarita glass with chili powder. Pour the blended contents into the glass and you are done. You're telling me you're done, mate, after drinking that. Please remember to drink responsibly and don't make a show of yourself in the street. And to accompany that lethal concoction is a pair of safety gloves, I should imagine. A banda, the Torero Band. Short and sweet there, the Torero Band with Abanda. And if you're interested in the recipe, you might have a grass stain on a white pleated crimpline skirt that you want to get rid of, then you can go onto my show page and see the recipe for this week's frozen tamarind margarita. Time now for today's Lost TV theme. Now, today's choice is a much-loved American children's drama series that began in 1966. Now, the series was an Ivan Tors Films production in association with MGM Television, and it starred Marshall Thompson as Dr. Marsh Tracy, a vet at the fictional Wamaru Study Centre for Animal Behaviour in East Africa. Popular characters included Dr. Tracy's daughter Paula, have you got it yet? And their pets, you're going to get it and I'll tell you this, a chimpanzee called Judy, you're getting warmer, and a cross-eyed lion named Clarence. You must know by now, yes, today's Lost TV theme is Daktari. That's it finished. The theme from Daktari, composed by Shelley Mann and Henry Vars. That's not right, Malcolm. I'm sure they used to go Daktari. They used to sing it. Eh? Yeah, but I'm sure they sang it all the way through. I haven't heard it since I watched it as a child. I was obsessed with it. I love that lion. Mad for that lion. And don't forget, if you'd like to hear your favourite Lost TV theme, then just let me know. And if we find it, we'll play it. Of course, there's one we can't find, so don't even ask for it. I'm not even mentioning it, because he's glaring at me through the glass. And young Paul, of course, who sits in the glass booth with Malcolm and holds his medication, he's never heard of Daktari. Never. Have you? Never? Oh, you've missed out. Didn't we have great kids' programmes when we were young? Is that just as you get older, you get a bit nostalgic? But we did. The Singing Ringing Tree, which is hard to say with the Scouse accents. I've said it before, the Singing Ringing Tree. It's like Scarlet Ribbons for air. That's very hard to say as well with a Merseyside accent. What else did Robinson Crusoe? Remember that? That was glorious as well. I don't remember Belle and Sebastian, Malcolm, honestly. No. I'm a bit older than you, don't forget. I was out in my paper round while you were sitting there in a nappy watching Belle and Sebastian. I was busy earning a living, age 6. Right, okay. Well, we got time for a few quickies. A big hello to David and Helen Jones. I hope you enjoyed the Rick Wakeman concert in Bristol. Happy 40th birthday to Claire Tanner in Warminster. Thank you to 14-year-old Laura Jade. Your letter was lovely, and it's nice to know that you're listening. David and Jane, have a good time in Exmouth. Karen, now this is either Renee or Reenie. Karen Reen, it could be. Anyway, it's R-E-N-E in Leicester. I'd keep the door locked if I was you, Karen. Pauline Hill in Harrogate, thanks for the photo of Yorkie. And once again, here we go, a big thank you to Nina, who this week sent in some double chocolate cookies. Malcolm said they were a bit dry. A packet of cherry menthol sweets, a few dog biscuits, some bubble gum, and an Elvis Presley DVD. And let's not forget the Johnny Mathis T-shirt for Malcolm, which is so big. If you're having a wedding and times are odd, let us know, and we rent it out to you for a marquee tent. Now then, we're less than half an hour away from our thank you spot. I know, contain your excitement. And this is where I give you the chance to say thank you to someone. And now there must be somebody that you'd like to say thank you to. And if you would, then here's how you can take part in next week's show. Come on, Maria.
You can contact Paul's show by emailing paulogrady@bbc.co.uk, or you can write to Paul at BBC Radio 2, London W1A 1AA, or just visit his show page at bbc.co.uk/Radio 2 and click on Take Part in the Show.
Thank you, Maria. And to take us to the news, here's this week's high energy offering, and it's Shenna with My Fantasy. don't touch that knob, because I'll be back straight after the news. I'm Paul O'Grady, and this is BBC Radio 2, online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 6 o'clock. Good evening, this is Andrew Peach. The health authorities in Germany have said it's likely that bean sprouts were the source of an outbreak of E. coli that's killed at least 22 people. A spokesman for the Lower Saxony Agriculture Ministry told the Associated Press that test results weren't conclusive, but all indications pointed to them being the cause. From Berlin, here's Steve Evans.
The Agriculture Minister for Lower Saxony, one of the areas badly affected by the outbreak, told the news agency that locally grown bean sprouts were now suspected. He said the tests hadn't shown it conclusively, but, as he put it, all indications speak to them being the cause. His state would be sending out an alert to warn people not to eat bean sprouts. This revelation might embarrass the German government, because its authorities pointed the finger at Spanish farms when the cause was actually homegrown.
Officials in Yemen have insisted the country's president, Ali Abdullah Saleh, will return following treatment in Saudi Arabia for shrapnel injuries caused by an attack on Friday. Thousands have been celebrating his departure. Israeli troops have fired line ammunition and tear gas at a large crowd of pro-Palestinian protesters gathered on the Syrian border with the occupied Golan Heights. Unconfirmed reports say 14 people have been killed. The demonstrators were marking the anniversary of the Six-Day War in 1967, when Israel seized the Golan Heights. The Foreign Secretary William Hague has insisted the government won't change course on its economic policy despite a warning from some leading economists. In a letter to the Observer newspaper, they say the economy is too fragile to cope with the scale of spending cuts. Professor Susan Himmelwhite from the Open University is one of the signatories of the letter. She says the government is taking the wrong approach.
By cutting directly at services, it will reduce the sources of demand in the economy, and as a result of more people will need to be paid for, as unemployed, and less taxes will be raised. In fact, the deficit will rise as a result of that, but certainly not fall as fast as the government is predicting.
The Blue Peter presenter Andy Akinwelere has set 2 world records for swimming in one of the deepest stretches of water on the planet. He swam 5 miles in a 3.5-hour trip across the Pacific Ocean. Until a few weeks ago, Mr. Akinwelere was unable to swim even a length and was terrified of open water. Cricket. Rain has disrupted play on the third day of the second test between England and Sri Lanka at Lords. The tourists' first innings were halted at 372 for 3, 114 runs short of England's total of 486. The Sri Lankan captain, Tilikaruna Dilshan, made 193. Now the weather. Rain will gradually clear most southern parts of the UK, continuing though across Northern Ireland and parts of Scotland this evening. Drier elsewhere with some clear spells. BBC News at 3 minutes past 6. Our next at 7.
BBC Radio 2.
And now travel news from Bobby Pryor.
Andrew, thank you. First of all, to the A19 northbound and north of Stockton-on-Tees. It is actually closed following the accident between the A689 and Dalton Lodge. So you've got queues on the approach. If you're heading towards Peterlee, no official diversion. You're on your own there, and it is very busy. M6 southbound, expect slow traffic really from junction 20 for the Lim interchange through to 17 at Sandbach. It's eased up a little, but you've got heavy traffic in patches along that southbound stretch. The A5 east of Telford was closed at Crackley Bank both ways. That's now all reopened. To the A14 eastbound at Suffolk, there was an accident which closed a lane between junctions 39 and 40. We've still got the accident being recovered on the eastbound side, and there's queues on the approach, but you can get past. To the A47, this is on the Norfolk, just on the Acle Straight. We had it blocked completely following an accident just near the turn for Halvergate. You can now get past, but again, queues on the approach. M1 southbound, traffic delays between junctions 14 Milton Keynes and 11 for Dunstable, but that's just the usual rough. M40 southbound tonight, we've got queues from junction 8A from Oxford Services all the way down to Stokenchurch. What we had is 2 queues have joined up to 1 queue. Into London is very heavy. The M4, if you're heading into town, we've got eastbound queues from junction 5 all the way into Chiswick. M25, now clockwise, we've still got 3 lanes closed following the earlier accident between junctions 8 and 9, which is Reigate to Leatherhead. So clockwise queues still back to junction 5 for Clackett Lane services. M25 anti-clockwise, there's now been a new accident between junctions 10, the A3 and 9 for Leatherhead ahead, so more queues on that side. The M20 northbound is a solid queue from junction 9 Gatwick Airport to junction 7. And moving on to the Kent stretch of the M25, the accident towards the toll booth's cleared up, but it's left very long delays from earlier, still heavy from junction 4. And finally, the A303, if you're eastbound, Ilminster all the way past Stonehenge, it's solid queues. Thanks for your updates. Back now just after 7.
Polo Grady on the wireless.
Polo Grady here, good to have you back, and thank you very much for the news and traveller. Now, contain yourselves, dear listener. I've got another hour to go.
The tide is high, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one. I'm not the kind of girl who gives up just like that. Oh no, it's not the things you do that tease and hurt me bad, but it's the way you do the things you do to me. I'm not the kind of girl who gives up just like that. Oh no, the tide is high, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one, Every girl wants you to be her man, but I'll wait, my dear, till it's my turn. I'm not the kind of girl who gives up just like that. Oh no, the tide is high, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one, Every girl wants you to be her man, but I'll wait, my dear, till it's my turn. I'm not the kind of girl who gives up just like that. Oh no, the tide is high, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one, The tide is high, but I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one. The tide is high, I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one, number one. The tide is high, I'm holding on. I'm gonna be your number one.
The tide is high, Blondie. Well, but yeah, I was reading in the paper, not that that means anything. Blondie wants to adopt Debbie Harry. She wants to adopt. She can adopt me if she likes. I love Debbie Harry. Welcome back, folks. Taking you offering. Jolly good. We're all ready then, because I've got your thank you messages, and I've got some great Sunday music, and I've got a song here now that's my all-time favourite. I have done it in every pantomime I've ever appeared in, because it's a nice song if you're playing the villain. And it's also been requested for Rex in Carlisle, Francis in Coventry, and Eve in Epping. It's the Kingham's Noose. When I was with Scylla, and we were on a little holiday, and we went in a bar and there was karaoke, and I got up and stood on the piano and sang Trouble and slipped, because it was wet, and fell between two tables. And you know what was miraculous? I never spilt a drop. That's what you call a pro. Right, keep your messages coming in, folks. Dear Paul, it was a blustery and wet bank holiday Monday here in the Midlands, so I sat down in front of the telly to watch a film. There I was on the sofa with my Yorkshire Terrier Rambo III sitting by my side. I had a box of soft sensors in one hand and the remote in the other. I fancied one of the classics, but found instead a film called Marley and Me. I'm sorry, the gag reflex is not very good. Well, you could have warned me. I didn't stop crying until it was time for bed. It was so sad I was half expecting Mrs. Balaclava to pop up and play her Dead Pet music, and that's from Anissa in Redditch. It had the opposite effect on me, Anissa. I could feel my lip curling as I was watching it. Oh, it was too mawkish. Have you seen it, Malcolm? Did you cry? Oh, you crying? The adverts on the telly, you do. I mean, it did nothing for me. Dear Paul, and I'm an animal lover, but no, Malcolm, I have to draw the line. I thought, I've got to get out of here. This is too much. I've told you what it was like. It was like drinking a bottle of that liqueur, the yellow one, rhymes with Hayley, and a warm bottle, a very warm bottle on a warm evening whilst eating sticky Turkish delight. No. Sorry if I've offended all you Marley and Me fans, but there you go. Dear Paul, my husband and I listen each week and do enjoy your show. We live in Boston. No, Malcolm, you're wasting your time. Because it's not Boston in America. It's Boston in Lincolnshire. There. Would you please play our lovely daughter a record? Her name is Louise. Sing out, Louise. She's just moved back home after a rather messy divorce. Do remind her that life will get better soon and tell her that she isn't overweight, despite what her wicked ex-husband used to say. Thanks, Paul. And that's from Mary and Peter in Boston. Take no notices of your ex-husband. What was he? He was out, never out the gym, was he? 5 days a week, body on him like an Adonis. But he was sat there with his chips and gravy perched on his beer belly. Take no notice of him, love, you're gorgeous. What's this one here? Dear Paul, last week I was sat down listening to your show, painting my nails, ignoring the ironing when you mentioned cassettes. Well, my darling husband Nick has a big collection of tapes and was very upset when his Walkman finally broke. Walkman? 2011? Walkman? OK. He managed to order a new one online. What line's that? I bet the stockist had to blow the dust off the box. I bet he did. He even took it to the gym and used it whilst on the running machine. He was sure the younger people were giving him funny looks. They probably thought it was the latest gadget. They probably did. Nick did finally upgrade to an MP3 player, but he has just walked in to tell me that it has frozen. Where's he had it in the freezer? Oh, frozen stuff. Oh, I see. So maybe tapes are the future after all. And that's from Brenda Griffin in Burgess Hill. I've got boxes of them. Boxes of them in the garage. All unmarked. I haven't got a clue what's on any of them. Not one of them. Maybe one. I don't think I've got a tape machine anymore. Can you still buy tape machines? I'm sure you can somewhere. I'm sure. I'm talking to which, a lady in... I've forgotten where it is. I'll do it next week when I remember. No, because she sent me a letter. Hebden Bridge. I was saying you can't get things, like dolly bags. Not that, I'm going to start washing shirts in dolly bags, but it was just the fondness of the memory of them. And she sent me a letter saying that they sell them, and they sell donkey stones as well for doing your step. I'm sorry, but there's not enough money to get me up first thing in the morning to kneel down and batter my step with a piece of stone, just so the neighbours can walk past and say, isn't he clean? Right, this is going out now for Harold and Mavis, who live in Eastbourne, and they've been together for 53 years. 53 years. That's incredible, isn't it? 53 years on Wednesday. Well, congratulations, or should I say commiserations? I don't know, do you get on? Might be at each other's throats. Anyway, Harold and Mavis, God bless you, and here's a song you've requested. It's Down South Camp Meeting, Fletcher Henderson. Fletcher Henderson with Down South Camp Meeting, all the way back from 1934, going out especially for Harold and Mavis in Eastbourne, who are celebrating 53 years together on Wednesday. I hope you were jitterbugging round the kitchen to that, Harold and Mavis. Right, it's time now for this week's thank yous. And as you know, this is the part of the show where we invite the nation to show a bit of gratitude and thank someone. Now, last week, Patricia thanked her best friend Karen. Phil thanked his neighbour in Newcastle at the end of the street. She's the lady who didn't want to be named, who helps Phil at home. And Betty and Trevor thanked the York Ambulance Service for saving Trevor's life. So come on, who would you like to thank? Don't forget there's the highly coveted certificates of thanks if your message is read out of the show, and not so coveted box of chocolates and limited edition t-shirt for the very best letter or email of the week. So here he goes first, and this is from John and Maureen, and they say, please could you thank our son James and his wife Jennifer. 6 months ago, much of our house was ruined by a terrible fire. James and Jenny were immediately on hand to offer their help and their spare room. We've just moved back home, but we'd like to thank them both for their kindness and generosity over these past few months. James and Jennifer have both helped with the redecorating, and we can't thank them enough. We love them with all our hearts and are lucky to have such an amazing family. And that's from John and Maureen in the West Midlands. Well, I'm glad to hear you're back at home now, John and Maureen, and a fire-resistant official thank you is in the post for James and Jennifer. This one's from Gillian, and Gillian says, I have always been involved with various charities over the years, and I would like to thank my soon-to-be ex-next-door neighbour, Peter. Peter is downsizing and emigrating to Spain soon, and he has given me a large amount of his belongings for me to give to charity shops. These days, people are more inclined to sell items themselves online, so I'm so pleased that Peter has decided to donate all these things. I want to wish him well for his new life abroad and thank him not only for this act of kindness, but for generally being a good neighbour for the last 15 years. And that's from Gillian in Preston. Thanks for writing, Gillian. You're going to miss him, aren't you? And well done for doing so much for charity. And an official thank you will be following Peter all the way to Spain. And now, letter of the week. And this week's thank you letter of the week comes from Nora Corkery, and Nora says, I would like to thank my wonderful mum Peggy. In 2009 I was rushed into hospital and had emergency life-saving surgery. My mum lives in Ireland and was waiting for a hip replacement, but she travelled over and spent 3 months caring for me and looking after my 2 teenage children. In February this year, I had to have more surgery, and yet again Mum dropped everything and came and looked after us all again for another 3 months. So please can you give my mum Peggy a mention on your show? It would mean a lot to her, and she deserves a wonderful surprise. Thank you. And that's from Nora in Devon. Well, Nora, consider it done. A box of chocks is on its way to Peggy in Ireland, and Nora, I'm afraid you're getting the limited edition t-shirt, which you can wear in private with your curtains drawn, providing there's no animals around because you'll scare them. Anyway, remember, let me know if there's someone or somewhere out there that you'd like to say thank you to. Here's how.
You can contact Paul's show by emailing paulogrady@bbc.co.uk, or you can write to Paul at BBC Radio 2, London W1A 1AA. Or just visit his show page at bbc.co.uk/radio2 and click on Take Part in the Show.
Thank you, Maria. Next, we've got something new from the soundtrack of a video game called L.A. Noire. And it's a classic Louis Jordan song remixed. It's called Ain't Nobody Here But Us Chickens.
When he hollered, who's that? This is what he heard. There ain't nobody here but us chickens. There ain't nobody here at all. So quiet yourself, stop that fuss. There ain't nobody here but us. We chickens try to sleep, and you bust in and hobble, 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 hobble with your chin. There ain't nobody here but us chickens. There ain't nobody here at all. You're stomping around, shaking the ground, kicking up an awful fuss. We chickens try to sleep. chicks to hatch. There ain't nobody here but us chickens. There ain't nobody here at all. So quiet yourself, stop that fuss. There ain't nobody here but us. Kindly point that gun the other way and hobble, hobble, hobble off and hit the head.
Louis Jourdan there with Nobody Here But Us Chickens, and that was originally recorded in 1946, but that version you've just heard comes from the soundtrack of a new video game called L.A. Noire, and I didn't know video games had soundtracks. Mind you, I didn't know there wasn't a bogeyman under my bed till a week last Thursday, when the news was finally broken to me. I could go to sleep without having to have the landing light on, Malcolm, and the bedroom door open. Anyway, all right, the 6 o'clock triple is on its way out and here coming up the stairs. But first, time for some messages. Dear Paul, it's Jennifer here in Stevenage. Hello, Jennifer in Stevenage. A simple question for you. Doctor Who, just what is it all about? Oh, this programme isn't long enough, Jennifer in Stevenage, to answer that question. Over the past 7 weeks, I've watched all of the new episodes starring Matt Smith, and I'm none the wiser. It's so confusing. Bring back Tom Baker any day. Say hello to Elsie for me. Elsie, come and say hello to this girl. She's sober today. Say hello. There you go. And that's Jennifer, the wannabe Doctor Who fan. I like Matt Smith, I've got to be honest. I really do. He's nice and quirky. But I've got to be honest with you, Jennifer, I'm with you there. I watched it the other week, and not a clue. Thoroughly enjoyed it, I have to say, but not a clue. Didn't have a clue what happened at the beginning, or I was none the wiser come the end. But it's still enjoyable, isn't it? An enjoyable muddle. There you go. Dear Paul, I went out for dinner last night with a man I met on the internet. What have I warned you? We had spoken on the phone a few times and I felt ready to take it to the next level, a face-to-face encounter. We agreed to have dinner at the restaurant on the high street and, even though I say it myself, I looked the business. Sadly, my date did not. I don't think he knew the meaning of the word bothered, because he clearly hadn't. I was furious, and to make matters worse, he suggested we split the bill. Oh, secours, as they say in France. Well, really. I'm sure I heard you say you used to run a dating agency. Who told you that? That was long ago in the past. Yeah, and it was raided, and I'm not going down that road again. No. So if you know any available men who know how to treat a girl properly, please let me know. That's from Charlotte in Swansea. Oh, Charlotte. Never mind, love. You see, this internet dating, this is it, you know. Maybe I'll open me agency again, Malcolm. We'll operate it from here on a Sunday. What do you reckon? Prospective clients can sit out there where Sally Traffic sits normally in the week. And Tom can usher them in. And we'll vet them. And if there's any, suitable young lady, I'm going to get ready. I can see the door getting kicked in by 4 coppers any minute and me taking off again to Bow Street Police Station and charged. Dear Paul, I know you aren't an early riser, you can say that again, but earlier this week I caught a bit of BBC breakfast. As I was tucking into my muesli, a report about British wildlife caught my eye. They were focusing on the plight of the hedgehog and also on the great British beaver. And I thought to myself, I haven't seen many beavers around here recently. I used to see them quite often in my youth because I was a regular visitor to the Cotswold Wildlife Park in Burford. Beavers are a remarkable animal, and I'm hoping to see much more of them on this year's Spring Watch on BBC Two. As an animal lover yourself, when was the last time you saw a beaver? With kind regards, John in Tenby. I don't think I've ever seen one, to tell you the truth. There wasn't a lot of them in Birkenhead, to tell you. I mean, there might have been, but we never saw. They only came out of an ice. We didn't see them. I haven't seen any in Kent. No, I haven't seen one for you. Oh, hang on. When I was doing the Tea Time show, we had a couple on. In a glass box. Yes. They got funny tails. Like flat things that when they make houses, they slap the mud down. Very clever creatures. But that's the only one I've ever seen in captivity. Time now for the All-Star Triple. Remember, we're looking for 3 great songs from 1 great artist. The email address is paulogrady@bbc.co.uk, and this one is especially for Denise West from Lynmouth. So hope you enjoy the 6 o'clock triple starring Shakin' Stevens.
This old house once knew children. This old house once knew a wife. This old house was home of comfort as we focused on life. This old house once rang with laughter. This old house heard many shouts. Now she trembles in the darkness when the light in the walls is louder. Ain't gonna leave this house no longer. Ain't gonna leave this house no more. Ain't got time to fix the shingles. Ain't got time to fix the floor. Ain't got time on the hinges. No 2 men, no window pane. Ain't gonna leave this house no longer. She's getting ready to do the same. This old house is getting shaky. This old house is getting old. This old house that's in the rain. This old house that's in the cold. On my knees I'm getting chilled. But I feel no pain. As I see an angel peeking through the broken window pane. Ain't gonna leave this house no longer. Ain't gonna leave this house no more. Ain't got time to fix the shingles. Ain't got time to fix the floor. Ain't got time on the hinges. No 2 men, What's that secret you're keeping? There's no piano and it's playing hot behind the green door. Don't know what they're doing, but they laugh a lot behind the green door. Wish they let me in so I can find out what's behind the green door. And I'm both leaving through a smoky cloud behind the green door. When I said, Joe, send me some laugh out loud behind the green door. All I wanna do is show my happy cry behind the green door.
And we had This Old House, Green Door, I Know Julie, all sung by the one and only Shaky. So do you have an all-star triple? Who's your favourite artist? Please let me know, and you just visit my show page at bbc.co.uk/Radio 2 and click on Take Part in the Show. And while you're there, you can have a look at the Triple Action Gallery and see what I got up to in the all-star triples. There's nothing exciting because they won't let me get up to anything exciting. I mean, I'm quite happy to post for all sorts of photos, but I've been told no by compliance. Leave your vest on, they said to me. Leave your vest on and your flippers. Time to open the doors now and step into me TARDIS. And can you guess which year we're heading back to? Harold Macmillan was the Prime Minister. The Preston Bypass opens. It's an exciting year. And Her Majesty the Queen reopened a newly expanded Gatwick Airport. Well, the answer is 1958. And from that year, here's Nina Simone. My Baby Just Cares for Me.
My baby don't care for shows. My baby don't care for clothes. My baby just cares for me. My baby don't care for cars and races. My baby don't care for. I don't please. Liz Taylor is not a star, and even Lana Turner's smile. Something he can't see. My baby don't care, who knows? My baby just cares for me. Baby, my baby don't care for shows, and he don't even care for clothes. He cares for me. My baby don't care for cars and races. Baby don't care for. He don't care for high-tone places. Liz Taylor is not his style, and even Liberace smile. Something he can't see is something he can't see. I wonder what's wrong with me.
Apart from the references to Liberace and Lana Turner, that could have been recorded last week, but it wasn't. It was recorded in 1958, and that was Nina Simone with My Baby Just Cares For Me. Time now for some of your messages. Dear Paul, please wish our lovely sister Barbara a very happy 67th birthday and tell her it's wonderful to have her home. Due to her husband's work commitments, Barbara left the UK for Cape Town in 1982 and did not return until last year. Barbara's always been a hometown girl and never really got on with South Africa. She really missed her family and longed to return. She had to have her adorable dog Lottie, a miniature schnauzer, put into quarantine for 6 months. I thought she was going to be get her in with the piano, but has now got her home. I always wanted to take Buster to Paris, but I couldn't because all this paraphernalia with passports and vets and injections. I wouldn't subject a dog to that. Not for anywhere weekend in Paris. I just fancied seeing him mini down the Champs-Elysees, you know what I mean? Anyway, Barbara's now back and living in rural Somerset with her dog, I have to say, Lottie, so she can look forward to many happy days together with her family, something she's dearly missed for all those years. Love the show, Paul, but you're all regular listeners, and that's from Graham, Mo, Jennifer and Kathy. Well, thanks very much, and welcome home, Barbara and Lottie. Dear Paul, I acquired a newborn lamb and I was told that she would not survive. Taking notes, what they tell you. I brought this poor little thing home and took her to bed with me to keep her warm. I fed her every hour, and at 5:30 in the morning she jumped up and peed on me quilt and bounced around like a mad thing. I called her Annie and we have never looked back. She is now 6 years old and lives in the conservatory with my 3 dogs. I'm not the only one, Malcolm, see? Annie the sheep goes for walks with the dogs and is quite a celebrity at my local park. She's very fond of digestive biscuits and still has a bottle twice a day. Ruined. Oh, and I would like it to be known that sheep are far from stupid. Mine is as smart as it comes. But I would have liked to have emailed you some photos of her, but I'm not sure how to do it. And that's regards Jeanette Duggan. Thanks for that, Jeanette. Well, Winston... I think he's 7, 8 and 9. He's about nearly 10 weeks now. Is a big lad. I mean, he's huge. He's absolutely... And he still has his bottle. And all my sheep are friendly. I mean, if I go for a walk, they're all trailing... I don't know what people think. Walkers, when they see me trailing over the fields with half a dozen sheep behind me and a lamb. Still you know, I had a sick goat once when I first got him, my Billy. He shouldn't have left his mum. He was too young. And I had to take him to bed with me to keep him warm and bottle feed him and all this. Didn't Stella Black go and tell the papers to sleep with a goat? You know he sleeps with a goat. I mean, like I was a member of the Hellfire Club or something, sleeping with a goat. I didn't. For 2 nights only, I nursed this critter back. So that's scotched that rumour. I sleep with a pig, actually. That's a different matter, my Blanche. Paul, it's Clyde here in Falmouth. Hello, Clyde. Like you, I love Emmerdale, but the jury is out on the new arrangement of the theme tune. Do you know, I was waiting for this. I like the titles, though. It's a great advert for Range Rover. Yes, I know, other cars are available. Any chance you could dedicate the Northern Soul selection to me? Thanks, and keep the faith, and that's from Clyde. I've got to be honest, Clyde, the jury's out with me and all over the new... I didn't know what it was when I first saw it. I thought it was an advert for furniture. You know, all that leg under the table business in the wool pack and, you know, the fight, you know, no. We want the rolling hills of Yorkshire again. That's what we want, and I don't like change, not in soaps. I'm still getting over the shock of Corrie's titles. Not good, are they? No. All right then, Clyde, especially for you. Here's our Northern Soul selection, and it's Mr. Billy Butler, who's now on Radio Merseyside. Anyway, when Billy was and that was Billy Butler and the Enchanters with Right Track, and it's not Billy Butler from Radio Merseyside. I've just been informed, so Billy, that was your music career cut short, mate, if you're listening. But I know you were a DJ in the cavern. I know that much. Right, what we got here now? Fancy me? Well, it's not many, you know, Billy Butlers. Not many Billy Butlers around, is there? What's the time now for some of your messages? Dear Paul, I was born in South Wales but now live in a small artsy town in southern Arizona. Just took me tablet. I never thought I'd end up in a place where people get excited when it rains. Well, Kent's like that at the moment. We haven't had rain we had a bit last week, but Oh, it looks like the plains of Kansas. Not that I've ever been on the plains of Kansas, but I can imagine we're very dry down there. I discovered your show a few weeks ago and I listen on my computer and you're my favourite. I love your friendly, cheeky style, don't deny it, and the way you make your listeners part of your show. I haul them in with a net. I can't help myself. Thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. You're welcome, dude. And if anyone who went to Pont Grammar in the 1960s is listening and remembers me, please say hello from me. And that's from Pearl Watkins. So to all Pearl's classmates from Pont Grammar in 1960s in the South Wales, Pearl would like to say all the way from Arizona, where it's very arid and very dry, howdy, dude. Cheers, Pearl. Thanks for that, love. Hiya, Paul. My wife and I are regular listeners to your show and always enjoy it. It was our 36th anniversary on May the 31st. My wife, Denise, is recovering after an operation and is doing so well. She knows I'm proud of her, but a mention on your show would be good for her to hear and will no doubt aid her recovery. Thanks so much. And that's Mick Maloney in Holbeach, Lincolnshire. Denise, he loves you. I mean, he does. He's like carrying a torch for you, Flower. He really is. He adores you. And you get well soon. And he's proud of you for getting over your operation. But still sit there and moan so he runs round after you. That'd be my advice, Denise. Dear Mr O'Grady, normally only magistrates call me that. Could you please wish our son, Ian Keith Taylor, a happy 50th, even though he is only 46 years old? Malcolm, are these letters sent in to deliberately send me round the loop? Are they? Because if they are, they're succeeding. Look, I'm pulling my hair out like a parrot pulls its feathers out. I'm going slightly. Anyway, I'll carry on, pretend it's normal. In case you're thinking we're going doolally, it had crossed my mind. We should explain that we are referring to his 50th marathon, which he ran at the Three Forts Challenge in the Sussex Downs near Worthing. It's taken him just over 3 years to run 50 marathons, and he hopes to make it to 100 by 2015, when he really will be 50 years old. You will notice that this letter, hang on a minute, has been tipped on a good old-fashioned ribbon typewriter. Oh, typewriter. None of this modern email nonsense for Hess. Yes, I had sort of noticed. Despite all this technology around at the moment, we find a manual typewriter is quite sufficient for our needs. And that's from Brian and Lillian Taylor in Halesworth, Suffolk. Thanks for that, Brian and Lillian. No, you see, that's a classic example of good recycling. Why chuck out your good typewriter when it still works and go and buy an expensive laptop just to send a letter? No, I heartily approve them. And my things just collapsed here, Malcolm. Not me lung, listener, if you're listening. No, to think I keep the script on. Hang on while I pull it up. So if you hear a bit of banging, it was built for EP. It's a tiny little thing. In fact, I'm lying on the floor to read off it. All right, time to relax as we present Wish You Were There. Now, this is the part of the show that supposedly offers you the chance to chill, lay back and forget your troubles. Malcolm, these people need more than a record. For the past few weeks, against my better... Oh, no, I have to go out and lock myself in the loo. Listen, I can't stand this. Anyway, I've been featuring over the past few weeks songs from the forthcoming album by the lady who plays our Dead Pet theme. Her name is Mrs Balaclava, and today she turns her mittens to an Eric Clapton classic. No, I really do have to go out, even if it's just to stick my head out the window. Here's Mrs Balaclava on piano with Wonderful Tonight. Has she finished? Oh, she has. Thank you, Mrs. Balaclava. That was wonderful. That was Mrs. Balaclava, our resident pianist, with a tribute to Eric Clapton with Wonderful Tonight. And I've got a bit of bad news for all you Mrs. Balaclava fans, because copies of her new album, It Gets Worse, My Songs of Despair for Those with a Broken Heart, apparently have been impounded by Her Majesty's Customs and Excise at Dover on the way into the country. Something about, I don't know, I've no idea about copyright laws, and she hasn't had permission anyway. Apparently Mr. Clapton's going mad as we speak, because she never even had the decency to ring him up and say, excuse me, can I cover your song? You've no idea what I put with it, brother. Just go. Thank you. Right, last one now, and this is for anyone who hasn't had a happy ending recently. And with this show, it's always guaranteed, and this is our weekly dose of Motown. So here's the Commodores, Machine Gun. The Commodores there with Machine Gun, and that's our foot-tapping happy ending. Well, that's it, folks. Hope you've enjoyed the music. Please keep in touch, because, as you know, we're nothing without you and your messages. And here's Maria with all the contact details.
You can contact Paul's show by emailing Paul O'Grady at bbc.co.uk, or you can write to Paul at BBC Radio 2, London W1A 1AA. Or just visit his show page at bbc.co.uk/radio2 and click on Take Part in the Show.
Thank you, Maria. Yes, Elsie, I'll take you for an ice cream after the show. No, they don't do brandy flavoured ice cream, Elsie. It's just ordinary vanilla or nothing at all, OK?